All right, hello my fellow gamers, my name is Moses and I'm actually here making an introductory video to my new channel. Now, what is this channel going to be about? Gaming. It's mainly going to focus on Nintendo Switch 1 and Nintendo Switch 2 games, so I'm excited for that. Now, I'll give you a little bit of backstory about myself just so you know. I actually been playing games my whole life. I started doing it professionally in 2010 when I was working with IGN reviewing games, doing game reviews, doing product reviews, traveling the world, and just again focusing on gaming. I was a professional gamer for a little bit. I did play well with Modern Warfare 2, Destiny, games like that. You know, I was crazy for. But again, I had reviewed games professionally, did a bunch of reviews, and was on YouTube back then. Was pretty big in my YouTube channel starting off. We were one of the very first reviewing games in YouTube. But that again took a different direction. Back in 2013, I ended up leaving, working with IGN, and actually created my own company that was a competitor to them. In 2018, I ended up selling it, and it's still alive and well now, but keeping that disclosed. Again, it's doing fairly well, and they're still reviewing games and doing things like that. But again, did that. And for me in 2020 is when I stopped playing heavily video games. I ended up meeting my wife, had kids, and for the past 5 years, I haven't really played games. I've owned an Xbox game, an Xbox Series S, played digital copies of games like Hogwarts Legacy. That's the reason I purchased it. Wanted to play Hogwarts Legacy. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. And I actually played some Resident Evil games, some of the remakes like Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 remake, and some of the remastered games as well. So big Resident Evil fan, by the way. I haven't owned a Nintendo Switch 1 or Nintendo Switch 2 at all. But again, I'm a huge Nintendo fan. But again, I ended up leaving the video game world for a while, or not leaving it, but kind of just being very minimal with it. I had my kids. They're both, my twins are both 2 years old now, so it's actually giving me a little bit more flexibility to play video games. And why am I focusing on Switch 1 and Switch 2 games? Is because I recently actually purchased a Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I have one of my workers that also recently had their third kid, and he purchased a Nintendo Switch 2 back in July. He hasn't played it. He did have, I don't know, he ended up purchasing one game. He played that game, but he's like, I honestly don't have time. I need the money. He's like, give me $250 and you can take my Switch 2 and the games that I have. So he said he had a digital copy of the Mario Kart game that he was able to redeem. He didn't know how to, he didn't care for it. So he never redeemed it. So he would give me that, and he would give me the game Cyberpunk. He's like, take it for $250. It came with everything. I was like, all right, I'll take it. Not sure if it was a good deal or not, so I do apologize if he did rip me off. I don't care. He has a kid, so I was like, I'll take it. So I ended up purchasing the Nintendo Switch 2. It came with everything and a case, and he also gave me the Cyberpunk game along with the digital copy of Mario Kart. So I've heard of this game. I haven't really played it. I heard there was issues with it for some time, and then they patched it. I don't know. I just know it has Keanu Reeves. I'm a fan, so I'm gonna try it out. I still haven't played it, by the way, just to let you know. I recently got this yesterday. So when I went to go purchase that, I was trying to take my kids to a yard sale that was across his home, because we saw some toys. So I'm like, okay, let's go to the yard sale, whatever. And I actually ended up seeing that they had a Nintendo Switch 1 for $75. It was the HD copy, and I took it. So the guy's like, give me $75, you can take it. There's no games, sorry about that, but it did also come with like a memory card. So it was, I think, 256 gigabytes. So he's like, just take it. Take it for $75. It also came with, with everything pretty much to connect it to the TV and things like that with the remote. So I was like, I'll take it, sure. So the reason I took it is because, again, I have twins. So there's gonna get to a point where when they can play, they are 2 right now, when they can play the video games, they're gonna apply for it. So I wanna make sure I have 2 separate ones so they can both enjoy it. So yeah, again, the big thing I want to get into the Switch is because they have a lot of games that are family friendly. I also care to purchase, not family friendly games, but again, I want my kids to kind of grow up playing the video games that I played and kind of understanding, my thought on gaming and stuff like that, because it was a big part of my life. So I'm excited for that. But again, the big thing that I want to do is now actually one thing that I actually want to mention. I didn't know that the Switch 2 was reverse compatible. So that's another reason I got the Switch 1, because I know there's over 2,000 plus games on the Switch 1. I didn't know it was reverse compatible, but I got it just to be sure, because I know there's a lot of games that I've thought about playing on the Switch 1 that are pretty much classics. So I'm gonna start creating a list. The big reason I actually want to make this channel is for you guys to help me in the comments down below build a list of games to purchase. Now my range is between $50 to $100, or $0 to $100. One game that I've actually been trying to play a lot, or two games, is Outlast 1 and Outlast 2, but I know I'm now gonna play those games physically, digitally. I might do that, but I know the physical copies came out in the Nintendo Switch 1 and they're like a couple $100. I'm not going to do that ridiculousness. I'm not going to pay hundreds of dollars to collect a game that isn't worth that much digitally. It'd be nice to have the physical copy of it, but I'm not going to pay that extreme for a game like that. So that's, by that means, if I eventually find that at a cheaper price, I'll purchase it. But again, my range is between 0 to 100, including new copies. So we'll go on from there. But first game in my list that I already have is Cyberpunk. So that's game number one. I know that a new Pokemon game, sorry, I'm a big Pokemon fan as well. So the next game I'm gonna purchase is Pokemon, which is coming out in the next couple of weeks. I actually saw another game that someone recommended me, which is called Little Nightmares 3. There's apparently a 2 and a 1, of course. I want to purchase those eventually as well, but I know Little Nightmares 3 is coming out in the next couple of days. So I'm going to purchase that game, play it, and then give my thoughts on it. That's what I'm going to do with a lot of these games that you guys recommend. I'm going to give you my thoughts on them, not reviews, more thoughts. And I actually want these games to play them. I don't want to just have these games to collect them and let them build dust in the wall. I actually want to collect these games and play them and give my thoughts on them and collect and keep those that I actually enjoy. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this journey. Again, I did this for a living for a long time. It was a big part of my life. And then I had a career change, which I'm completely happy about. But now that I can get actually back into gaming, play these games, do some reviews, do some, videos, and actually connect with people again that are in the gaming community is going to be amazing. Now, one thing I do want to let you know is that I do have some friends that are developers. I still have connections to some of those. Now, not being biased or anything here, but I do have some friends that worked in Resident Evil, creating those games. So again, I have no bias. I'm always going to be forward and transparent about all these games, but the way I did that was I used to, again, travel a lot for gaming. I made friends with these developers that created these games. The best one I've had was in E3, back when Resident Evil Village came out. That was exciting. I mean, they had that whole setup. It was back in Los Angeles, and again, some of the developers were there, and it was just a fun experience. That was probably one of the best ones because that was when the peak of gaming was there. And again, I do miss going to all these events, back like E3, the Japanese convention, things like that. And again, I still keep in contact with these people. So it's going to be exciting to actually get some news information on them. I'm excited for Resident Evil 9. That's actually coming out of the Switch 2 as well. So I'm actually going to reach out to my friend to actually give me more information on that, as I'm excited. So yeah, what else do I want to mention? A big thing that I actually want to talk about eventually is game key cards. I know that's been an issue here with the Nintendo Switch 2. Not sure what that is about as much. I know that it's like a card license to let you play a digital version of a game, but again, I don't know much about it. I'll get more details and actually give my thoughts on it, but I'm actually going to talk to some development friends or developer friends, sorry, word salad, developer friends on why they're using those, or give me thoughts on that, get their side of it. But I know there's a lot of negative feedbacks about those game key cards. So I'll get that information. I'll relate my 2 cents on that, and yeah, just go on from there. But again, this whole channel is going to be about my thoughts and opinions and nothing too solid. Again, excited for playing all these games now, and taking your recommendations to heart. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.